As we're talking about the cover of the New York Post today, fall from Gracie. So you have Mayor Adams, who's losing four deputy mayors today who are resigning. They said it was hard enough working for an indicted mayor, but now they believe he's compromised because he's allowing Tom Homan to have at it to a degree when it comes to illegal immigrants. And they believe that he's not going to be indicted now and he's going to get away from it rather than looking at this case. So he looks like today, Kathy Hochul, one of the worst governors in the country who never should have been a governor. It's a total mistake. She was brought in by Governor Cuomo to try to seal up Buffalo area, northern part of New York State, and even though he didn't even need it, and now she's governor. So now she's going to meet in Manhattan today with some higher-ups to see about removing a mayor, an elected mayor, for the first time in 235 years of New York.
This is the thing. I don't understand Democrats in New York City. So this is the mayor, this is the governor that allowed all these liberal DAs to have violent offenders on the street that were murdering people, raping them, assaulting people. She didn't remove any of those DAs.
Right.
But now she wants to remove the mayor for working with the president of the United States to keep the city safe. Talk about priorities here.
Right, because, and we had the mayor on our show on Friday, and, you know, her side is talking about there was a quid pro quo going on because the charges of corruption were dropped against him because that way he could cooperate with this Republican administration. And that's why everybody's hair is on fire here in New York City.
He denies that.
Well, yeah, of course he does, because it's against the law. And that's what he said here on the couch. What's interesting about this 10 o'clock meeting that she's having over on the East Side in her office here in Manhattan is that one of the people invited is Al Sharpton. And Al Sharpton is blaming the current situation, this is delicious, on Donald Trump.
Oh, my gosh. Well, if he is removed, if she removes him, and she has the power to do that, it's never been used before, but she could do it. She would be overturning the will of the voters. And that's a serious, I mean, the voters wanted him to be the mayor. And if he does leave before his term ends, Jumaine Williams would temporarily become the mayor because the election is this November. And you say he's extremely liberal.
He's way to the left. This guy is de Blasio, way to the left of de Blasio of everybody.
Why would he take over? Kathy Hochul would appoint him?
I guess the public advocate would take over.
Like
I don't know what kind of system New York has. But here's what Kathy Hochul said. I recognize the immense responsibility I hold as governor and the constitutional powers granted to this office. In the 235 years of New York, their powers have never been utilized to remove a duly elected mayor. Overturning the will of voters is a serious step that should not be taken lightly. So you're going to be taking it. By the way, if President Trump, you know, you want that congestion pricing? You want all this other crap that's going on in New York City? The president wants to get rid of bike lanes. He wants to get rid of congestion pricing. And he's saying don't do it. He said Elise Stefanik's going to be delayed till September. She's beginning to pull that back. That was Hakeem Jeffries' idea. So the President Trump could pick up the phone and say, you get rid of Eric Adams, and all hell's going to break loose in your city.
But, Brian, at its core, I don't understand why the Democrats hate democracy. I mean, we heard it throughout the presidential race. Democracy, democracy. There's an election coming up. Well, if there's any type of corruption or let the voters decide.
Exactly. And so that's why I think, to that point, Lawrence, you know, it's just a couple of months until he'll probably lose his office anyway. I think today she's going to come out, they're going to condemn him. She's not going to do anything, but it's just this constant drumbeat, you know, for the primary voters. And there aren't that many here in New York City when it rolls around every couple of years. They're going to be reading all this stuff, and it's like, oh, we can't re-elect that guy. Let's go back to Cuomo. Look for Andrew Cuomo to be the next mayor of New York City.
Because that's going to go so well.
So we were interviewing the mayor and Tom Homan last Friday. If you missed it, here's a clip.
She has her role, I have my role. And throughout this entire ordeal, which I think no American should have to go through, the torment of 15 months that my family and I had to endure for something I didn't do. I didn't do anything wrong. Throughout the entire ordeal, I said one thing. My attorney will handle the legal part. I'm going to handle running the city. We return jobs to our city. Our city is getting safer. We're building housing. I think that this is a great American narrative where I stood focused on what I was elected to do.
You're going to run for re-election?
Yes.
Are you considering running as a Republican?
I'm going to run on the Democratic line. We petitioning to start it, starting soon, running as a Democrat. There's a many Democrats, like you look at those 78% that believe what we do, what ICE is doing about getting dangerous people out. I think that we have to get people out to vote. That is the problem.
So the mayor also has been very fair to the Trumps. As early as 2022, after de Blasio painted things in the street, took Woman Rink away, made him sell the golf course, he came in and said, I have nothing against these people. And I know Eric in particular, because he's running the organization, said, I appreciate it. I don't want any favors. Just don't target me. And I think that helped those two talk, Trump and the mayor talk, just like have a civil relationship.
I just don't, I'm sorry, Angela. I just don't like the appearance of targeting from the Department of Justice.
Right.
I don't know all the facts of this case. I think that could have been litigated. Exactly. It could have been litigated in court, and it can be back and forth about, what took place with these flights and all that. But the appearance of him being the co-chair of Biden's campaign at the time, all of a sudden he started criticizing the administration. And then there's an investigation open up. They're seizing his phone, targeting all his people. That doesn't look good for the Department of Justice. I think average-day Americans are sick of the appearance of targeting political opponents.
I'm getting close.
He said...
Getting close to going double-breasted.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
how good he looks.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's how good he looks.
And did you see his cowboy boots? And Steve
And Steve,
Look
too.
at this. I mean,
It's incredible.
It's Texas Tuesday. I'm wearing my Lucchese's.
I love
Will you remind me next Monday night?
I promise.
It's every Tuesday.
I know, but I need to remember. I have a lot going on.
She's a mom.
I leave my boots in the stable every day, so I got to remember to bring them home. It's good.